Secession in the United States properly refers to state secession, which is the withdrawal of one or more states from the Union that constitutes the United States, but may loosely refer to cleaving a state or territory to form a separate territory or new state, or to the severing of an area from a city or county within a state. Threats and aspirations to secede from the United States, or arguments justifying secession, have been a feature of the country's politics almost since its birth. Some have argued for secession as a constitutional right and others as from a natural right of revolution. In Texas v. White, the United States Supreme Court ruled unilateral secession unconstitutional, while commenting that revolution or consent of the states could lead to a successful secession. The most serious attempt at secession was advanced in the years 1860 and 1861 as 11 southern states each declared secession from the United States and joined together to form the Confederate States of America. This movement collapsed in 1865 with the defeat of Confederate forces by Union armies in the American Civil War. A 2008 Zogby International poll found that 22% of Americans believed that any state or region has the right to peaceably secede and become an independent republic. A 2014 Reuters Ipsos poll showed 23.9% of Americans supported their state seceding from the Union if necessary. 53.3% opposed the idea. Republicans were somewhat more supportive than Democrats. Respondents cited issues like gridlock, governmental overreach, the Affordable Care Act and a loss of faith in the federal government as reasons for secession. The American Revolution, the Declaration of Independence states, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness." Historian Pauline Mayer argues that this narrative asserted the right of revolution, which was, after all, the right Americans were exercising in 1776, and notes that Thomas Jefferson's language incorporated ideas explained at length by a long list of 17th-century writers including John Milton, Algernon Sidney, and John Locke and other English and Scottish commentators, all who contributed to developing the Whig tradition in the 18th century. The right of revolution expressed in the Declaration was immediately followed with the observation that long-practiced injustice is tolerated until sustained assaults on the rights of the entire people have accumulated enough force to oppress them, then they may defend themselves. This justification had several antecedents. The two treatises, 1690, the Fairfax Resolves, 1774, some reviews, 1774, the Virginia Constitution, 1776, Common Sense, 1776. Prudence, indeed, will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes. Mankind are more disposed to suffer, while evils are sufferable, than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty, to throw off such government, and to provide new guards for their future security. Gordon S. Wood quotes John Adams. Only repeated, multiplied oppressions, placing it beyond all doubt that their rulers had formed settled plans to deprive them of their liberties, could warrant the concerted resistance of the people against their government.